With more and more people wearing masks more and more of the time, it's become harder than ever to read another person's face. Well, there's a theory that suggests the human forehead has its own story to tell, one that goes way back in time. How the humble forehead came to look the way it does, and what its evolution has to teach us today. Next on The Friar Place. Stay tuned. The human face. It's the home of 3 of our sense organs, essential for expressing human emotions, and has evolved over the millennia due to climate, what and how we eat, and, at least according to some anthropologists, even the basics of human relations. Its latest claim to fame is that it can now be considered a human organ because, well, these days you can transplant a face. Wow. Some faces have become immortalized for various good and not so good reasons. Some have made their way onto Gelt, and some have made it to the mountaintop. But let's face it, the face gets a lot of attention, with some of its parts, like the eyes, competing for even more. So it should come as no surprise that these days we're counting on the eyes to do a lot more than just see. Apparently, they're supposed to smile for us too. It's called smizing, and well, I just think it's a little creepy. But the eyes aren't alone in having to do double duty. The humble forehead, just usually hanging out there between the eyebrows and the crown, has become a gatekeeper, alternately letting us into or keeping us out of wherever we want to go. Now, besides providing us with an easy way to take our temperatures, the human forehead and its evolution can also give us some hope. According to a fascinating theory of some experts, here's why. You see, it didn't always look like this. It's being theorized that as it became more and more clear, our long-term survival as a species depended more on how well we got along with one another than how successfully we could intimidate and conquer one another. Well, that prominent, aggressive, rigid, and threatening brow began to relax, giving way to the more supple, soft, and expressive human forehead we have today. In fact, if the eyes are considered to be the windows to the soul, well, maybe the forehead should be the soul's bulletin board. I mean, it is the place where important signs and reminders have traditionally gone. Watch out for that guy. But I think more importantly, for right now, it can serve as a kind of reminder of how our species has contended with conflict over the eons and, quite possibly, even evolved in such a way as to promote better communication, especially when it comes to important emotions like empathy, compassion, sorrow, and concern. In other words, to paraphrase Martin Luther King, the arc of human evolution is long, but it bends towards conciliation. Look, Election Day is just a couple of months away, and the recent Democrat and Republican conventions still belie any capacity for real communication. And while it's important that we all get out and vote, it's also important that we do our best to mitigate what seems to be promoted by our popular culture and the media. That whole binary thing that all is either black or white, good or evil, right or wrong, us or them. So remember this, every time you're struggling to communicate with or understand another masked or unmasked human being, especially if it looks like they hold different opinions than you do. Hey, everybody's got a forehead, so why not let it tell its story? Even if it's just a theoretical one. What have we got to lose? Because really, if we're going to survive as a species, we'd better work a lot harder at getting along and figuring things out, rather than just settling for winning an argument or even a presidential election. No offense to the Geico caveman, but let's keep evolving. And maybe one day when we get to greet each other face to face once again like we used to, let it be as if for the first time. And the lyrics of an old song might just come to mind. Peace and all good. The first time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and the stars were the gifts you gave to the dark and the end of the skies, to the dark and the end of the skies.